And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Don't worry, everyone. Joey is on his way. He's just rebooting the old computer. Not as old as mine, but it's still up there. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining me. It is Gerald Glassford of the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. For Friday's show, I will have a review and thoughts of Mr. McMahon. I have watched all 6 episodes and I have thoughts. But if you're a member of the Lakers Fast Break, you can read it right now. I have already popped it for our members right there, the Lakers Fast Break. And if you want to become a member today, go ahead. It's just $2.99 a month, and you can join us. And you will see ahead of time my article and my review of Mr. McMahon right there for you, if for just $2.99 a month right there for you. But also as well, of course, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Chris Sardieri and I earlier today on this channel, and also as well for audio listeners out there, we just covered for you week 3. What was the good and what was the not so good? Week 4 coming up. And also, is it time to hit the panic button just yet? We go ahead and cover all that on this week's show. It was a good show, a lot of good questions and a lot of good commentary and feedback from our crowd out there earlier tonight on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Joe Soros here. He is Mr. Simblades, simblades.com. If you want your lawn transformed into something much more magical than it is today and you live in the Southern California area, please go ahead and hit up Simblades. Show them that logo. Show them that logo, Joe. Right there. Simblades. Oh, no, you don't want to do it? Okay, well, you own the company. Simblades, simblades.com. Also as well, LakersBall.com. He is Ox1947 there. Our good friends at Lakerholics.com. Hopefully, I will be able to get the Lakerholics to come together, including Laker Tom, to Darren's delight, if that would be the case. Hopefully get them all together, but you can find them on a normal basis at Lakerholics.com. John Costa's Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner channels. Please like and subscribe there. Of course, at Report_Court for our good friend Stone Hansen. And of course, also as well, Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers and their plight in trying to sew up the division and the National League at the same time before they head into the playoffs. Also as well, of course, Lakers in 5, John McCalian channel, and Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo, please support all these great places, but make sure you like and subscribe. Please subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. When you hit that little bell for us here at the Lakers Fast Break. And again, members, $2.99 a month. Not only emojis, they get that. They get badges of all of us, for however long that they stay with us and stay a member. But they also get updates. They also get little inside notes from us when we go on the air ahead of time, and basic shout outs from all of us. So please go ahead and become a member today for just $2.99 a month right there for you. Well, the Lakers earlier today, they were at it again. The good buddies, the friends that they are. General Manager Rob Pelinka and Lakers coach JJ Redick were in front of the media today answering questions for you. We will cover what they talked about. We will critique. We will provide some analysis. But first off, I want to go ahead and make sure that we give a big shout out to all of our members before I bring it over to Joe. And want to give a big shout out to Intel Wild, Samir, JSJ, Kurt, Darren, Sports Baby, Richard, Bloodhound, and Xbox. Truly appreciate you being members. You get to see my Mr. McMahon first and foremost right there for you. But it is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. It was the press conference today to, I guess, get us prepped for training camp next week with the Lakers. Them talking about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, injury updates, kind of vagueness on one injury in particular. talked about the focus on what they're trying to accomplish or what they're trying to focus on with the father-son appearance and how they're going to go ahead and take care of that for the first time to get that out of the way as far as that presentation is concerned between father and son of that, I'm assuming, first game of the year. They talked about the starting lineup as what we talked about on yesterday's show being the same one that they had for the last period of time, which was 23-10 overall last season. And then the vagueness began, Joe, in regards to questions that were thrown at him. There were softballs, but there were still some as far as, would you make any trades? Would you trade the picks that you have, whether it's one pick or two picks? Would you make the moves necessary if you needed to? Again, it was the usual Rob Pelinka, blah, blah, blah. I've got some more thoughts on it, but I want to go ahead and bring you in on this, Joe. Your thoughts on the press conference today for Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick?
It was very difficult to listen to. It reminds me of all the political people who talk. I last maybe 3 or 4 seconds usually, and I have to turn the channel. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's the same stupid, not going to happen things that they say they're going to do. And what a revelation. He's going to start the 5 best players that the Lakers have. I don't think that's anything worth hearing, to be honest with you. I know you have to tell people that's what I'm planning to do, but it's from my interpretation from what I saw was this particular coach, and it cracks me up because Redick was on a podcast. I think it was the Low podcast today,
yes.
and he had mentioned how Mazzulla was one of his inspirations, and it made me think that these guys actually think now that because Mazzulla came in for Ime Udoka in a kind of rushed situation and ends up winning a championship in his second season as a coach, they think that this is what's going to happen here. And it might be my interpretation of that, but why would you use him? Why wouldn't you use someone like Nick Nurse? Nick Nurse won a championship in his first year, correct?
Yes.
He had never been a head coach. Why using Mazzulla? What are you trying to say there? That you have that same aspiration, you have that same up-to-date kind of philosophy that's going to work. Okay, let's check off the talent there versus the Lakers. I don't think I need to go through that actually, but I'm just not the talk. We're gonna be doing the show here. We're gonna discuss what they're saying. We're gonna be there media day, I believe, on Tuesday, next Tuesday, right? We're gonna do our job here on the show and figure out what's going on. But as far as what I saw today, I saw a to-do for both Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick. And we're going to be seeing a lot of to-do until we actually see some game action. The game action, even in a preseason game, is what's going to give us a little bit of a hint on what this team is going to do. It's not going to be all of it because you can't play your top guys too many minutes, obviously. But we are going to get an idea of what kind of identity. We've talked about that a few times, right?
Yes.
What would you say the Lakers' identity has been the last 3 years?
Most likely what we've been able to ascertain, keeping the pace higher than most teams.
You already answered it. You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. The answer is they don't have an identity.
Well, they have certain traits that have worked for them.
No. See, you just answered your question again, or you answered the question again. There is no identity. So let's talk about identity basketball. You ready? How would you identify the Lakers during their three-peat? What was their identity? Destruction. Destroy you. Right? What was the Kobe, Pau Gasol era championship? What was their identity? Flawless basketball, amazing coaching, right? I mean, you're talking about the Black Mamba. You're talking about lethal. I mean, Kobe was on the other one too, so it's pretty much the same. Except he didn't have Shaq. He had Pau, he had Lamar, who were ridiculously skilled. But the identity of that team was they're going to come after you. The three-peat team, they're going to destroy you. Let's get away from the Lakers stuff. How about the Miami Heat during the LeBron era in his prime? What were they known as? What was their thing?
I'm again with the 3+ stars that they had. It was basically just what they didn't really have an identity. They were just basically
their identity was talent, and LeBron in his prime, which was basically give me shooters and let LeBron win you championships, which is what happened.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into the detail because I think this question was a little hard for you, and I get it. It's okay.
Well, you didn't let me elaborate because
you went into this diatribe. You're supposed to. It's got to be quicker.
You didn't allow me to do so. So
no, there's too much explanation. It should be quicker than that.
Okay. So I let you go on your diatribes all the time
because I asked the question.
Well, I ask you questions and allow you to do that. You don't give me the same opportunity, but okay. No. All right. I see how it is.
No identity. What is this identity? What is the identity
Joe's
of this
team? Not drunk, cool, bro. Just not drunk.
Oh, Schoolboy's still posting?
Yes, he is still posting. I know you can't see him, but we don't know yet. They have not established an identity for this upcoming season, so it's okay. There are ones in the past.
We'll get down to the nitty gritty. Mm-hmm. Who is this LA Lakers? You don't want there, Gerald, so that you feel like
go ahead.
No, I asked you a question. Go ahead, do your thing.
No, go ahead. You're by all means, absolutely.
No, I asked you the question. Give me your answer.
Well, right now, this season, it's going to be more about the family affair between LeBron and Bronny. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was actually thinking about basketball. Well, they discussed it today. They answered the question on today. They spent enough time on that, and they cared more about that than actually talking about how they're going to put the pieces in place to win a championship, which I think bothered a lot of people. They're more worried about how they're going to structure Bronny's playing time with LeBron.
I didn't want to mention it. I did read that on Lakers Ball, by the way.
Oh, I mentioned it.
I know, and it's probably best that you do. It's the Lakers show, and we got to talk about what they say. But that is further proof that our disdain in June about that whole process becomes more and more validated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we thinking about some nobody?
Second round draft choice.
Sure. Why are they thinking about that?
Again, it didn't take us very long to figure that out, Joe, in regards to how you put him in the first game, second quarter, put him in for 3 minutes, boom, send him to South Bay Lakers and let him develop there.
Why is this relevant, right? Why is this relevant when you're supposed to go for a championship? This has become a charity case. This has become a Make-A-Wish Foundation without the tragedy.
And right? Alan said that they were asked a lot about Bronny. Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah. Guess what? They're going to be asked a lot of questions about Bronny because they made this. You talked about the identity for this team. The identity may ultimately end up being a family affair.
There you go. You answer the question quick and concise. Good job, Gerald. I'm very proud of you.
All right.
And I'm not doing that to be condescending either, because you brought up exactly what I wanted you to bring up, because I wasn't going to bring it up. Look at
I got the family. See, now you started this because now I got the family affair theme from back in the day. The television. I got that like in my head now. Like, great, thanks.
Good. You answered the question and you validated the intense reaction from June. We are now on September 25th, 2024. July, August, September. 3 months later, almost 4 months coming in now. And what was the discussion today? About some bum who doesn't belong in the NBA and how he's going to get playing time with his daddy. That's embarrassing, guys. How can you have the gall to look at anyone who criticizes this team and this management and these players and actually feel like you know what you're saying? Look what they talked about day one. It's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed to be a Laker fan because of this stuff. The results.
It's concerning. It is.
Concerning. The results will ultimately be the validation. And the thing is, here's the thing. I don't need what's coming likely to be validation. The validation's already been happening, but people like to have amnesia. People like to say, well, it's a new start. Yes, it's a new start to a season, but is it really a new start when it's the same plan? Well, Joe, there's a new coach. Okay. How many coaches have the Lakers had since 2020?
Three, yes.
I mean, if you count the
yeah, you count the that's what I was doing too.
You're talking about 3 coaches after winning a championship. When does that happen? How does that happen? But we're talking about a nobody who doesn't belong in the NBA and how much time he's going to be
number 55 pick.
It's absolutely a pathetic, and I'm still reading articles about just complete airheads that have no business commenting on this, saying that this guy's showing something. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. I cannot believe how this actually, it shouldn't be mind-boggling. The amount of fake things there are in the world, just like that picture that you're seeing circling around right now with LeBron in a maid's outfit. You know, that stuff needs to stop, by the way. That's garbage. People who do that kind of stuff and it's not real, you guys are freaking, you're not only gutter trash, you're shit in gutter trash. Seriously.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro, a.k.a. Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. And also as well, he is the owner of Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. It's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. We're talking about the press conference earlier today with Rob Pelinka and Coach JJ Redick. Let me bring you up some quotes here in just a sec. Let me see if you are into some of the things of what they said and want to hear your thoughts as we get more insight on some of the things that were brought up when mentioned by or when questioned by the press out there. So let me go ahead and I'll bring up first D'Angelo Russell, which is always a hot topic on this show. JJ Redick says he has spoken to D'Angelo Russell more than any other player since he got the job. And his message to the guard has been, let's put you in a position to have a career year. Your thoughts on that, my friend, after what D'Lo did last year, still having the same, I'm assuming, holes in his game, but you know what? Let's see if JJ Redick can give him the foundation for a better year before he becomes a free agent.
Okay, let's talk about the good parts about that comment. Mm-hmm. D'Angelo Russell is a talented player. I don't think anybody would argue against that. And if JJ Redick thinks that he's going to help him go up a notch, I am on board and ready to listen on that, because D'Angelo Russell has the talent to be a very, very good player. He has been an all-star. The question will be is, are you going to tap into him mentally and have him ready in bigger games? Because that's really what's killing D'Angelo Russell's career, is his inability to show up when it matters. If he's not consistent, if he's having, let's say, out of 4 games a week, he's having 2 out of 4, sometimes 3 out of 4, but he always has a dud here and there. Yeah, that happens. That's kind of the tier he's in the NBA. He's not going to be the Shaqs or the LeBrons or the Kobes where they have one bad game every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or heck even every maybe 3 months. But that is something I want to see, because if you have D'Angelo Russell playing better than he ever has in his career, that could be something good. However, what does that mean? What would make him better than ever? And how would it help the Lakers? Is he making more shots? Is he conducting the offense a certain way that's making it more efficient? Is he going to play slightly better defense? That could go a long way if he played slightly better defense. Is he going to be better team defense-wise? Those are the questions that I'm going to be waiting to see if they can be answered. But I believe this is more likely to go the right way than a lot of the other stuff that's going on, because we know who D'Angelo Russell is. We know he's talented. And we've seen coaching transcend a talent before. It happens sometimes in the right system.
Plus, we know he's motivated because of the fact that he is going to be a free agent. There's no other choice. He has to be a free agent at the end of the season. So he is motivated to do whatever he can to try and get what probably will be, Joe, the last big money contract he'll ever be offered in the NBA again, because he's now going to be on the other side of 30 once the season ends, and his opportunities will probably diminish over the course of time after that. So he has to play well now in order to get a big money deal next summer, Joe.
Yes, I don't think, though, it would be from anyone else. It would have to be something where D'Angelo finally has a playoff run that is next level.
Yes, I agree.
And he's a lot like a Draymond Green before Draymond started really going down. Maybe 2018, 2019 Draymond Green, where, yeah, he's valuable to that team, but if you take him and put him, let's say, in Charlotte, he's not as important. He's not going to be as effective. D'Angelo's kind of the same way. He's going to get paid that money if he has an amazing run, because he works better in what the Lakers do here. And that will be predicated also on the fact that if LeBron comes back and he's healthy and all that, the likelihood of him going off in the playoffs and getting a big contract at the end of the year, I would say he'd have to be on likely a title team to do that.
One of the other things that was said by Rob Pelinka, I'm pretty sure you got wind of this one. It was mentioned earlier in the chat, but I wanted to save it for now. Rob Pelinka, when asked about pursuing trades, which, again, the Lakers have the ability, and I'll show you actually a tweet, a very good tweet. Even Laker Tom liked it, that I tweeted out there, for a retweet from Bobby Marks, which I'll show you, of ESPN, which I'll show you guys in a second here. But Rob Pelinka, when asked about pursuing trades to turn the team into a contender, says, "We believe in this group, Joe," but added that it will take 30 games or so to properly evaluate what the team has this season. I knew that would get you laughing.
The steak oil salesman pulls it out of his ass again. Yeah, 30. Sure. Okay.
So the rest of the league is just going to wait while the Lakers figure it out for 30 games.
Sure. This guy, man, he is such a such a freaking, I don't even know what it's not a derogatory. I don't want it to be a derogatory word, because then it sounds like it's personal. I hate when I do that. This guy he has no business doing this job. Absolutely no business. There's plenty of sly talking chumps out there that make millions of dollars. He's one of them. And I'm still in bewilderment on what the hell Kobe saw in this guy. I really, really want to know what the hell he saw in this guy. Did he see this guy as a guy that kissed his ass for 20 years? Sometimes that happens too. There's just people out there that'll kiss your ass and tell you yes on everything. And they become those guys that you trust, that'll be loyal to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it was.
A yes man.
Yes. And believe me, folks, Charles Barkley doesn't have a relationship with Michael Jordan because he called out Michael Jordan for having a bunch of yes men around him. So these guys that are powerful, they do need their yes men. And to me, a yes man is I guess it benefited these guys in their life. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I've never had a yes man in my life. It would irritate me. The yes man would irritate me at some point. I'm like, why are you always agreeing with me? I've done that before. Why are you always agreeing with me? I don't want you to agree with me. You need to tell me what's up. I need to know the truth. I don't like Rob Pelinka. I've been around a long time, folks. I don't like this guy. I'm sure he's a good family man. I'm sure he's nice. I'm sure he helps his neighbor take the trash out if, they ask. I'm sure he's good, all that. But I'm talking strictly when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't like this guy. I don't like him, and I don't like Jeannie Buss because we've gotten to know who they are when the pressure's on. And that's really what always brings out the real person, right?
Yep. So let me break it down to you, Joe, and everyone out there. If you're watching on YouTube, Bobby Marks laid it out there. The first that they can group together or keep separate are the 29 and 31 first round draft picks. They can lump them together or offer them separate in trades. They can trade the 2030 first round draft pick if they do not combine it with the 29 or the 31. And they have 5 years of swaps available in 26, 28, 29, 30, and 31. Rob Pelinka said the team is open to trading their 2 available first round picks if any deal they would be involved in can help secure sustained, the key word there, Lakers excellence, Joe. I want to know what their definition of sustained Lakers excellence truly is.
I guess the 2020 title has not rubbed off on their excellence observation yet.
No, not quite as of
and
yet.
we're holding our head up high for this appearance in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago, which that's proof in itself that the Lakers fan base and the Laker organization in general have limited their quality of what's actually good. The Lakers hadn't lost in the Western Conference Finals since 1998 until 2 years ago. The Lakers don't lose in the Western Conference Finals. They usually always win that series. You know how I know? Because they've won 32 of them. Now, there have been different variations of that conference champion. There's been times where it was 2 series before you go to the finals. There's been times where it's been 3 series before you get to the finals. There's been times where it's been best of 3 in the first round. There have been times where there wasn't a play-in. But all in all, 32 appearances in the finals as conference or division conference champions. They usually win that. And not only did they not, they got destroyed in 4 games. So if that's excellence to you, then you're setting the bar low, which makes sense considering they wasted all this energy during the draft so that they can play a family charity event for their star.
Well, Family Picture Day, as I mentioned to Alan, is coming up next week. I can't wait for that. There you go.
I have yet to have gotten into a really good discussion about this. it's going to be hard to do it face to face live. But I wish I would have somebody that could say something live, not on the radio or on here or whatever. It's easy on here. People can stop talking, stop typing. But really, I want you all to really make me understand how you're gonna convince me that this thing wasn't some big jerk off. When you're and at the same time you're telling me you're trying to compete and you're talking about Laker excellence.
Joe, I'm not going to say that that's wrong because the schedule doesn't look great to start off the season. But 3-7, 5-5, 6-4, all depend. Again, they're evaluating their first 30 games according to Rob Pelinka to see where the team's at. One of the things, though, that is going to be in question, Joe, is the health of the team heading into training camp and the regular season. Rob did mention that Gabe Vincent, Rui Hashimura, and JHS, after the back surgery and all that, are all cleared for training camp, Joe. So your thoughts with Gabe Vincent and his tricky knee last year, Rui, various mild injuries, but he managed to get his way through the playoffs. And then I don't know, was he injured in the Olympics? I vaguely no, he was kicked. He was doing well, and I know he got kicked out of a game in the Olympics. There you go. And JHS, just we'll see what we have with JHS. But your thoughts on those three, being ready and cleared for training camp? We'll get to the ones that are injured here in a minute.
I'm surprised JHS has been cleared. Usually back surgeries take a while. But
yeah.
Maybe his youth and his quick healing might have been what helped him get this done quicker. And maybe it wasn't as bad as most back. When you hear back surgery, that's usually not good. Maybe
not when you're 18 or 19 years old.
Correct. Joe. I don't know how the body is going to react after that. We're going to have to wait and see that on that.
But at least it's a good sign, especially with Gabe Vincent, Joe, who we are expecting to, give us some big minutes off the bench. We paid him, or at least the Lakers did, 3 years, $30 million. So he's going to be about $10 million as one of your higher contracts coming off the bench. So he's got to be able to start producing for you because he didn't last season. So having him available for training camp obviously is going to be a good sign. But then we get to the players who are not going to be available, which does include Christian Wood, who I guess from what I remember is going to be out for 6 weeks after his surgery. They're going to reevaluate him at that time. So you could pretty much say he will probably not be ready to start the season. But then the conversation turned to Jared Vanderbilt. And I'm going to go ahead and pop in what his comments were on that. Very interesting, to say the least. Rob Pelinka says Jared Vanderbilt had procedures on each of his feet this offseason. So, like Chris Middleton, he had surgeries on both of his feet this offseason. Actually, it was both ankles for Middleton, but you get the idea. He called them successful and has optimism that Vando will be ready to play by opening night of the regular season. He didn't say training camp. He didn't say the exhibition season, but he's hopeful that he'll be ready to go without any real preparation or work with the team until the opening night of the regular season, possibly. Your thoughts on the continued, I guess, foot journey for Jared Vanderbilt as we, again, realize that he was hurting already when he signed that contract, Joe, and the Lakers just fell into whatever they were offering. And it's just another mistake by Rob on that one.
Well, I thought he was going to be out for a while. Opening night?
He's optimistic.
When you hear somebody say cautiously optimistic, which that weasel Rob Pelinka I've heard say a few times, that's another word. That's another phrase of saying what's the comparison I have to that? That's like saying we're gonna hire you, but we have to first check a few things. What the hell does that mean? You just said I was hired. Well, but we still have to check. It's basically a BS line. It's to back up your BS. And most commentary is usually always BS. Why not just say, I'm going to see how the body reacts to my workouts, and then we'll play it by ear. And then even then, is he going to be able to last playing maybe 70 games, 60 games, 50 games? What's Vanderbilt's numbers in his career? Let me check.
They're not pretty, Joe. He's not an offensive player. Let's just put it that way. And
Well, I'm talking availability. You know,
his number of games.
The talent starts with availability.
Yes,
If you're available, right?
Yeah, let me get you his last few seasons.
I'm looking at it right now. So he played 29 games last year.
Okay.
Between Utah and the Lakers the year before, he played 78 games, which is not bad. 74 in 2022, 64 in 2021. Before then, 18 games and then 28 games.
Actually, I think it's 20. Yeah, you're right. You're out here. Yeah. Sorry.
So he's had 3 seasons where he's played over 70 games. That's encouraging. No, I'm sorry. 3 seasons where he played above 64 games, I should say.
And to continue your, I guess, thoughts on the James family love fest, Rob spent some time talking about, or was it JJ, talking about a one-on-one matchup, or actually a pickup game at the facility where LeBron toasted his son and then went for a slam and talked some smack afterwards. Isn't that sweet, Joe? Where they're already talking about the inner workings of what's going on, just focusing on that and taking up valuable time instead of talking about what exactly they want to do to project this team out to a better standing, to a better start, talking about 30 games of evaluation, spending time on how they're going to go ahead and share the floor between LeBron and Bronny James. What plan do you have? Get the thing over with and send him to South Bay to go ahead and develop there. He is not going to be a part of the rotation. And if he is, you're asking for a lot of trouble, Joe.
Gerald, we're just a bunch of chumps on some podcast. These guys look at people like us and they look at us like insects. We don't mean jack shit.
I don't have enough money to break like 15 headsets if I have to watch him brick 3-pointers. So
I don't even think this guy could get a shot off unless he literally does something like this. How is he going to get a shot off against NBA talent?
He'll get lots of shots off, Joe, because they'll leave him wide open.
I think it's better basketball to actually put someone on him to take the ball away from him. You're better off that way. But we've talked about this ad nauseum, and we are left.
I hope you're right, Bloodhound.
We are left at this point being a charity case. We are in a fake existence right now all around us. Mm-hmm. You have people who filter their faces everywhere they go. You don't even know what the hell they look like, especially online, right? You have people who lie, steal. You don't know. I mean, people have always done that. It's just probably more abundant now because of circumstances around the world, right?
Yeah.
You're dealing with just weak-minded, rich, poor, middle class. It doesn't matter who it is. And that's the part that cracks me up, is everyone thinks there's this, everyone will create this reason in their head about why certain people are saying things. They're haters, or they don't like you because of what you look like or where you're from and things like that, right? I think I even read something today. I don't know if it was true. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the fantasy
inside, yeah.
football today.
Yeah.
I couldn't get away from the Dodger game,
No worries, man.
and
We
and
got you
uh,
covered.
and I'm glad I didn't, because that was one of the more epic games, by the way. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading this thing. Again, I don't know if it's true. If it's definitely something LeBron has said in the past. His stupid passive aggressive crap. But I don't know 100% if it's true. I still have to do some research on it when I get off the show. But something about how Bryce Young getting cut after 18 games or being demoted, yet Daniel Jones is still playing quarterback with the Giants. And
Don't remind our good friend Chris.
What he was saying was he was based off what he was saying. He was inferring that it had something to do with this. And it's hilarious too, because you look at when you don't know shit about what you're talking about, which LeBron has made a career doing that. You still influence the morons that worship him. Anyone who pays attention to the NFL even a little bit knows that the Carolina Panthers have a reputation already, ownership, that they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Why isn't that factored in? Why are the Giants sticking with Daniel Jones? Maybe they're just that team that's like, look, we spent a lot of money on this guy. Let's ride it until it gets really off the rails, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they could very easily, just like Chris said, they could very easily be 2-1. They had a pretty good season 2 years ago. It was last year that kind of went south, right? But anyways, point is, the focus is not on winning championships. Look what we're talking about with Mr. LeBron James, Mr. self-proclaimed greatest player of all time. Look what's going on. Look at what's resonated around him since last week. Fake made outfits, him on video talking about things. This is the circles he's ran around, and he's supposed to be the pope of everything, right? And I've had to say this to everybody. I'm like, you guys all think. Stop thinking. Just focus on basketball. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like LeBron focuses on winning enough. He focuses on basketball, but he focuses on basketball under his terms.
I know when JJ spoke, they did talk more about, when talking about Bronny, they did talk about how they're trying to work out the actual initial time that they're on the floor together. And they did talk about developing in the G League for Bronny. But if injuries happen, if LeBron gets antsy, wants his son to be up with the big team a little bit more often, because remember, he's on a fully guaranteed contract. He is not on a two-way. So he has the ability to be there for all 82 games, and he'll be out there on the bench for quite a few of them. He will be in the G League, hopefully, to get some time to develop as well. But yeah, Joe, I'm scared that circumstances will dictate, and he'll be out on the floor a lot more than what you or I would like to see in his first season. Anyways.
We're going to comment on the proceedings here before the season starts, and then we're going to let the gameplay dictate whether we are buffoons or we're not.
Joe, tell that to Rob. He was
LeBron now because the team. Joe, there's been some discussion on that a few times before you got here. No one's going to trade for LeBron. People will trade for AD. People will trade for AD.
But Golden State wanted to, and he turned that offer down. So, but AD, if it goes sour, Joe, again, like we talked about on the yesterday's show, if it all goes awry, Lakers don't have a draft pick for next year's draft. That's the only way they would be able to get one, was through AD.
Even then, I don't think they're going to get a pick that's unprotected. There's going to be some protection on it, but I'm not even going to addressed that. There's not going to be a trade.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. And I don't necessarily want there to be a trade. If there was going to be a change in roster, I'd like to have AD still there. He still has 3 or 4 years left. I'd rather try to build through that and still kind of try to compete.
So let's hope so, Bloodhound, that they do the right thing, and after game 1 and the appearance together and all that history made, blah 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 blah, that he does get sent down to the G League to develop the entire year. But again, will circumstances dictates and bodies that are needed, and or if LeBron just wants to go ahead and play with his son, dictate more playing time on an NBA playing floor for Bronny. We'll wait and see. But Joe, again, we got the same old verbiage from Rob Pelinka. Just nothing really inspiring for Lakers fans to really latch on to. Overall, JJ Redick, I mean, well-spoken, but didn't speak very much as far as what he was going to be able to do, what kind of offense is he going to initiate. He didn't want to go into specifics on that, which was kind of disappointing. They did talk about Austin Reeves, though, and Rui, and seeing the fact that they have, in their opinion, a lot more room to develop. So they're trying to make sure that they focus on them, Max Christie, as far as trying to develop them to see if they can help plug up some holes the Lakers did have last season.
To answer the question from, was it Sunday A?
Or as I missed it. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sunday A. I can't blame Anthony Davis for not winning a Defensive Player of the Year. That's the league that did that. And by the way, we're going to have a show about, I still got to figure out how to get there's been a list online, but some said some of it isn't all the way correct. I'm trying to figure out how to get every single NBA voter legitimized. And when I get that list, I'm going to follow it this year. And there's going to be a lot of discussions on that. AD should have won Defensive Player of the Year in 2020, and it should have been unanimous. He got screwed that year. And he wasn't going to be able to win in 2021 because he got injured. 2022, you all know what happened there. 2023, Wembanyama was the best defender in 2023. I don't know what the hell happened. That was probably the worst voting I've ever seen. So MVP, AD isn't built to be an MVP, folks. It would have to be a monumental change here this year for him to be an MVP. He would have to be the alpha. He would have to be the alpha, which it doesn't exist. Guys like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan are never, ever not alphas. The only reason why Kobe wasn't a first option is because he was an anomaly at the time. He was a perimeter player coming out from high school to the NBA. And he was already on a team that was competing for championships. Different start. If Kobe had started on a lower end team, which most stars do, right? Because a high pick, whatever. His career would have been completely different. He'd probably be, before LeBron probably passed him, the leading scorer of all time. So AD is not that guy, though. He's not an alpha. He is a beta 1. He's not a beta, but he's a beta 1.
Okay.
And it was good enough to win a championship. He was good enough, definitely the first 2 games of the finals. He was on the way to win an MVP in the finals. But then circumstances changed the last 4 games, and LeBron ended up winning it. And that was indicative. That series was very indicative of AD's career. And it's not in a negative way. AD dominated the first 2 games. I absolutely dominated. Then he kind of went away Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, especially on the offensive side. Defense, he was pretty consistent throughout, but the offensive side. And if he doesn't do that, the Lakers sweep Miami and win in 5 easy. At the very least, they win in 5 easy. But in the end, it didn't matter. I saw, for sure, I'm sure there have been defensive stops, defensive players in the past, maybe finals I hadn't seen before that had the same effect. But I had never seen in a single game, in an important game like that, I have never seen that kind of performance by an NBA player. Anthony Davis in Game 6 was the most destructive defensive player I've ever seen in a game that important for a full game. He absolutely ripped the Miami Heat's hearts out in that game on defense. They could not do shit that whole game. It was phenomenal. And it was one of those things where you have to watch the game 3 or 4 times to really know. Kind of like a really good comedy. Good comedy can be funny at the beginning, like the first time you watch it. But what's great about a great comedy is when you watch it 4 or 5 times, you catch other things and it makes it even funnier. Yeah. And then after a while, it becomes repetitive in your head. And now it becomes a classic because you know every line and you know every little thing that you missed the first 4 or 5 times too. So that's AD's career in a nutshell. AD's career is he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He'll have won on every level. He'll have won as a Laker, which is like winning like a Yankee, right? Mm-hmm. And he will go down as one of the most talented players of his era. He probably will end up making a $500 million before he's all said and done. What a great life for Anthony Davis. I don't think he cares, does he?
Nope. JJ Redick commented on AD earlier today. He said, I think we have not only one of the best players in the world, but one of the most unique players in the world in Anthony Davis. There are very few people who can do what he can do at his size. His ball handling, his skill level offensively, and certainly the fact that he's one of the best defensive players in the world. But it's going to be hard for him to win a defensive player of the year this year, especially if Wembanyama takes another step. I'm in agreement with you on there. I know we went back and forth on Wembanyama for last season, but I'm definitely in agreement with you now on Wembanyama for this upcoming season. But still, AD has to play at a MVP-like level for the Lakers to reach that vaunted next step. We talked about that on Monday's show as far as that has to happen. That has to be something. He's not only got to be there of every game, he's got to be there and playing at that level. And I don't know if JJ can unlock anything else in him because the shooting stroke, he will not do that. I don't care what JJ thinks. Having him behind the line is, if he even does that, is absolutely moronic. You need to get him more touches in and around the rim. And the thing is, can JJ build a better offense, Joe, to do just that?
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. All those things are going to have to happen. Too much hyperbole.
Yeah.
Too much Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan likes hyperbole a lot. Greatest this and greatest that. And unique. Oh, when did we hear that? We hear that every year. What did Colangelo pops say in A Bronx Tale? The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Now, AD didn't waste his talent, but he definitely wasted his MVP talent. That's it. That's for sure. And if there was a time to tap into that, it would be right now. But do you see Anthony Davis being a relentless killer for 82 games?
No, unless there's something that really lights a fire under his ass.
But even then, what happens when he does have a 13-game stretch where he's playing like an MVP? Something happens. That's been his career. Something happens, he gets injured, pulls something. His body, his mind isn't about being that guy.
Juan says, some Lakers fans, great to have you here, Juan. Truly appreciate it. Great to have everyone in the chat. Best Lakers chat room that's out there, Lakers Fast Break. He says, some Lakers fans, Gerald and Joe, they really hate the Austin D'Lo backcourt. I mean, you see where it falls apart. It's a nice regular season backcourt, Joe, but you see it fall apart. The weaknesses really start to stick out like sore thumbs during the course of the playoffs, and that's the problem. But Juan, as you would tell all those other fans who say that they really hate that backcourt, what are the other options? Don't tell me Max Christie, because Max Christie has proven absolutely nothing. Dalton Connect, much to, we think that he might become a player in this league. He hasn't done anything yet. So we can't say whether or not, we can't just give him a starting role and say, there you go, because the Lakers do have those two at the backcourt. There are no other options right now, Joe, that we can be comfortable with giving us a kind of contribution that we need during the regular season. The playoffs, again, that speaks for itself. But during the regular season, unless something changes, unless Rob makes a move, right now they're the most functional backcourt that we have.
The Lakers management and coaching think that Max Christie, Gabe Vincent, and apparently Dalton Connect, whom was dubbed elite shooter today by Mr. JJ Redick. More hyperbole.
My eyes rolling when I did
more,
that.
More, yeah. I felt your eye roll. Actually, I wasn't even.
I know the audio audience.
If I had closed my eyes, I still would have known you were doing it.
The podcast audience probably can hear my eyes rolling when you said that.
I think that was pretty loud.
Yes. Connect has to be more than an 8 to 9 point player if the Lakers are going to be a top team in the Western Conference.
It's a fake. The fakeness of things continue to fester. We're going to find out how real this is. Are these guys talking themselves into this? Yes. Will they surprise us? Will they surprise us? Surprising us would mean a few things. AD playing 75 games as an MVP candidate. Has that ever happened? Why would it happen at 31, 32? And why it wouldn't have happened at 27, 28? Dalton Connect is an elite shooter. If he indeed was an elite shooter, why would he drop to 17? You pay Max Christie questionable contract because you've talked yourself into believing that this guy is going to start making shots and playing, let's say, good defense. What did he show you last year that made you think that? Gabe Vincent was injured all of last year on what? I still don't even know what his injury was. Knee?
A knee. It was a knee.
Okay. I was joking, by the way. I know it was a knee. Then you have Vanderbilt, who decides to have surgery a month before training camp.
On both feet.
Company time, part 2. Then you have Christian Wood, who's supposed to be your reliable big.
Coming back with a vengeance this season. This was his vengeance season, yes.
The vengeance apparently was on himself. Oh, Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes will be able to guard pick and rolls now, right? Is that what's going to happen? You see all
magically
these things, guys?
Overnight.
You see all the stuff that has to happen. This is fundamental stuff. This isn't even, hey, these guys improved a weak spot in their game. This is fundamental stuff we're asking these guys to do. Can you shoot, Max Christie, when you're open? You have some talent around you. Can you hit an open shot? You have the physique of an NBA player. Can you stay in front of your guy? Anthony Davis, you're apparently a unicorn to a lot of people. Are you going to start pulling the horn out at some point for longer than 3 weeks at a time? Because that's what you're going to need to compete for a championship. Folks, this is about championships. If we started this season trying to make the playoffs, we're probably not even angry. Well, Gerald, if a couple things go right, they're going to make the playoffs. Don't worry. Sure. I'd be on the positive train there. Of course, if it means going to the playoffs. These guys have to go through 4 series to win a championship. How? No. Let's talk about how the one area you have control over acquiring talent, you decide to use that to set up a charity decathlon or whatever it is that people do on their free time to make themselves feel good. Yay, I ran the marathon in 14 hours and 2 seconds. I'm so happy with myself. They Gaylord Fockard society the last, 30, 40 years. We're happy about just participating. We're happy about self-esteem. We're happy about Daddy knows best. Daddy Doolittle. The first time ever. Good for them. We're the chumps in this, right? We want our team to win. We want our team to
feel like
focus
a chump when I'm going
we want our
watching this
so
press
so
conference.
somebody comes back to you, right? This is why I want to do it face to face. Somebody comes back to us and says, "You're haters. You're negative." I'm a hater. I'm negative because I want my team to compete for a championship. Because I've been a Laker fan for 33 years and I've seen nothing but excellence. You are calling me a hater when I saw the greatest executive in sports history in my time get treated like dog shit till he died? While you run a freaking circus? I'm the hater? I'm the hater. No. You're not going to win that argument. It's an opinion. No one's going to lose or win. But I'm going to be in your face because I got the information. I know what it is. Most of you don't. A lot of Laker fans that are delusional don't know. They might be too young. Somebody who's born in 2005 telling someone that LeBron's the best player of all time. Motherfucker, you don't even know what Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan was never playing when you were alive. And even then, 10, 12, I'll give you 12 years old. 12 years later, you still didn't know. So now what? What the hell are you going to tell someone who knows? And you know why I know? I watched it live. Watching games live versus highlights is a 180-degree difference, folks. You have to be in it when it matters. Not watching film or seeing some dumb shit talking about, oh, Michael Jordan lost to Larry Bird in 1985 in 4. Were you there? Oh, he lost to Larry Bird in 86. Really? Were you there? Did you know who the Celtics were? Do you know it's a team sport? Did you know the roster construction, who the coach was? You do know that all matters, right? Things have to come together. They have to be built. When Jordan had everything, look at the results. When LeBron had everything, look at the results. When Kobe had everything, when Shaq had everything, look at the results. Not when they came out of the womb. Oh, they lost in high school. Yeah. No, okay. Use your brain. This is not, this is common sense stuff. Right now, what are we hearing? We're hearing the same horse shit that they've been trying to feed us for how long?
Quite a while.
So what happened last year? Why were we so positive last year compared to now? I'll tell you why. Because there was results a little bit, and you're like, okay, they made it to the Western Conference Finals with this new team. Let's see what they do with this new team. When they ate shit, now I got angry, right? Now I'm like, what the hell are you doing over there? I'm not getting paid to go scout. I don't know what's going on in El Segundo. I'm a fan. I can only do so much, especially with how they've cut off media. Anybody that says anything negative to them, they ship them out like Ramona Shelburne, right? Like she never existed. I don't even know if Windhorst is involved anymore with any LeBron stuff because he was kind of mouthing off a little bit, right? No, they bring in Allie Clifton, who kisses everyone's ass, especially LeBron. My God, I've never seen anybody kiss LeBron's ass more than Allie Clifton. I mean, they brought her in just to kiss his ass. It's too bad because I really like Allie. Never do that. For those of you who are looking to go into that career, don't ever be a kiss ass. Now, some people are like, well, Joe, what about Ahmad Rashad with Michael Jordan? Those guys were friends. Those guys hung out. There's a difference. Allie Clifton doesn't hang out with LeBron James. So we're caught between being right and having a shitty year, or we look like complete assholes and they win. Which one are we going to choose? The selfish person, of course, they'll tell you to your face, no, I want to be wrong. No, a lot of people want to be right. I don't want to be right here. I really don't. I've never wanted to be right. Winning is the only thing that I care about when it comes to sports. It's all I care about. And if you're getting paid $60 million a year, Jeff, God love him. Jeff and I are becoming better friends. Big Mookie Betts fan. But Mookie has been dog shit against the Padres the last few years. And he's been dog shit when it matters. And he didn't like hearing that today. I said, you need to tell your boy what's up. Now he threw a jab at everyone. It wasn't just me. He said, all these guys that are sitting on their couches. Now I had to respond with, and I'm going to mention this to Jeff, and I'm sure he probably watch the show at some point here. I said, Jeff, the guys on the couches aren't making $365 million, bro. Just saying. Sports is not it's not playing patty cake at school. This game tonight should have been over in the fifth inning. You get paid $365, and your boy Ohtani in the bullpen was on fire. All we needed was our 365 guy to just hit a single to clear it. Like, it would have been done. Stress would have been less. You're going to get criticized when you're making that kind of money and coming up lame like that. You can't be swinging like Chris Taylor, folks, when you're Mookie Betts. Accountability matters. Now, I'm not going to go throw trash in his yard like some of you assholes out there, bothering Dan Campbell at his house. What the fuck do these people do with their lives to go bother somebody at their home? But I'll criticize them on air. I'll criticize them in and around things. But it's about the sport. It's about this. And if it ruffles a little bit of the personal side, sure, I've said things like Rob Pelinka, Rick Genie are not the type of people I hang out with anyways, no matter who they are. That's kind of personal. But that's like any, there's 100 people out there that I've said that about. They're nothing special to me. It's just a different personality. So the Lakers started today with the positiveness. Elite shooter for a rookie. Really? I'm going to help D'Angelo become better. Good. I'm glad. AD is a unicorn. No shit. When is he going to play like one for an entire year? How about that? Can we get that for an entire year to play like a unicorn? He's played like an all-star. He's played like a Hall of Famer. But will he play like a unicorn? Because that's what this team needs right now. If it was LeBron 4 years ago, we didn't need that. You had 4 bona fide perimeter defenders that actually could play defense at that time too. He didn't need to be the unicorn there. He just needed to be Anthony Davis. But right now, they don't have any of that. They have an older version of AD, though. Can he Karl Malone a late MVP in his career? Karl Malone played 13 seasons before he won his first MVP. Guess what season this is for Mr. Anthony Davis? Gerald?
What's that?
Come on, man. Really?
Sorry, I'm going back and forth with Marcan because he's convinced that LeBron is in trouble over the Diddy stuff.
He's not in trouble. It's trash.
He's not in trouble. He's Marcan. Stop trying to just again. If he gets in trouble, that's what he does. But those reports would have been all over already as far as the feds already. That is how it works, Marcan. Marcan, I do know how it works. I majored in journalism. I understand. I've investigated reports. I've investigated how law enforcement works. Don't tell me how it works. It doesn't work. Okay. There would already be news reports of LeBron being investigated and a guy dunking on his kid seemingly totally relaxed from what we're hearing off of today's press conference does not indicate that LeBron has impending legal trouble coming his way. So Mark can't stop it. If it does come out, we'll report it. We'll be among the first to report it, and we'll be glad to report it, and we'll give you credit for it. But right now, you sound like a goof. So please, get it out. Yes, he did have the quote. He does the video. Yes, we've seen it all. Joe sent it to me. I saw the video. I got 2 or other 3 people sending me the video that he went to the parties. Yes. But does everybody in the parties that went there?
Well,
are they all going to be arrested? Are they all going to be investigated by the feds?
If you want,
they may be questioned.
If you want reference, there's been plenty of guys that have been interviewed. I think one of them was Marlon Wayans. He said, I went to the Diddy parties. It's just that I left before the stuff started.
There you go. LeBron could have done the same thing. Pictures leaked.
What
pictures? Let's see these pictures. There are no pictures.
LeBron has made a career out of talking stupid.
Okay, so Markin's telling you. Well, hold on, because Markin's saying that there were 4 people standing next to the adolescent involved in this. So, if Joe and I stand next to a murder suspect in our towns, do we become murder suspects too?
I got a better one. My friend, I said this on the last show. My friend shook Bill Cosby's hand in 2002. At a comedy show while he was getting on stage to do his comedy act.
Markin says, yes, we become murder suspects.
Does that now make my friend a rape enabler? Folks, come on.
Stop being ridiculous.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're being ridiculous.
Stop watching social media. I have had to delete so much garbage on my Facebook. Every other goddamn post is about that piece of shit. I have never liked that guy. Never liked him. Ever. He's a open mouth breathing piece of shit. I used to call him. That's what I used to call him for years. And it had nothing to do with the Diddy Biggie thing, or I don't give a shit about any of that.
Well, let me ask you this, Joe. Okay, when Diddy has a party? Okay, do you think he's going to invite a lot of people to this party? Most likely, yes. He's going to invite a lot of people to these parties, correct?
My interpretation of what he was trying to do is he wanted to be the new Hugh Hefner.
Mark
You
Henry, you're
remember
a
the
lost cause.
Playboy Mansion, folks? You remember how those parties went?
Mhm.
Everybody knew about the grotto. Everyone knew about the girls and all the stuff that went there. He was trying to create a new version of him being the Hugh Hefner of this culture, the 2000 culture. And of course, he put the best parties together because that's what he aspired to be. He wanted to be the guy that all the stars, almost like maybe even a Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes, for those of you who don't know who Howard Hughes is, Howard Hughes was the guy that was apparently had a lot of money and brought in the stars to hang out with him. And of course, he went insane in the end. Those guys don't last too long because at some point they get so big headed they think they can. It's all about control with these guys. They want to control everybody. They want to be deviants because it's about control.
Give it up, Marquand. Again, it would have already leaked out if LeBron was being actively investigated. Now, he might be questioned. Yeah, I would say that it's not out of the realm of possibility that he would be questioned on this. If I was an investigator, I probably would go ahead and spend a few minutes talking to him. But he's not being cited for anything.
I have a theory for
It
this.
would have already come out, Joe. It would have already come out.
I have a theory on what's going on lately in society. I believe, this is a theory, I don't have any proof, that there is a whistleblower paying a lot of money to get these guys caught, because you're noticing all the pieces of garbage in Hollywood and the music industry and all these child people, they're all getting found out. I believe there's someone in the background putting a lot of money to this and getting these guys found out.
Marquand, again, no politics, please. Keep it out of politics and religion out of
And
this.
folks, you have to understand something here. Just because we discuss people's indiscretion doesn't mean we need to make it into a political discussion.
Yeah, you need to keep that out.
If you all are in denial that this piece of shit wasn't a scumbag before, then you're blind. Okay, and if you're gonna compare it with something else, that's on you. Okay, we're not talking about the other.
Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to talk about it.
It doesn't matter if 500 other people are scumbags too. I hate when people compare one scenario with the other. It's still garbage. Okay, if this guy actually did what they said look, man, the feds don't screw around, by the way, folks. If you don't believe me, go ask ex-protected gangsters from like the 80s. Those guys don't mess around. Okay,
you know why? Well, let me just say, in the Mr. McMahon series, he did win a federal trial. Vince McMahon did. You know why it was such a big surprise that he won, Joe? Because the feds rarely lose. They don't take something to court unless they figure they can win. They usually win. They have a very high percentage of wins. So I think that it would have already been leaked in today's media world, with social media, with investigative reporters, with tips coming all over the place, Joe. It would have already been reported that LeBron would be in hot water already, and he's not. He's not acting like a guy that's in hot water. So
Vince McMahon, when you look at his personality, it's very easy to be thrown into this, he's a power hungry, controlling sicko person, right?
And Marquand, it doesn't matter. It leaks out. It always leaks out. Sorry.
If you pay attention to what guys like The Rock says, Hulk Hogan, the guys who are in and around him, you don't really get a correlation to what he's usually being accused of. So let's just say, let's use the steroid scandal as an example, right? There was talk that they really thought that Hulk Hogan was going to say that Vince made him take steroids. And that was what they felt like they had in the bag for some weird reason. When in fact, He's just an enabler, and it doesn't care. Vince, and I've heard this said enough times to not really question it anymore. People said that Vince did not care about anything except the business. Didn't care about anything else. And if your first love is the business, and you have people that have traveled with you and been with you in that time, and if anybody was going to want to bury Vince McMahon, wouldn't you think Hulk Hogan during that time would have? But he didn't. Did he lie? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh man, yeah. Again, don't get me started on that one. But
let's think about that for a second. You think steroids started in 1985? No. Hulk Hogan was using it in the late 70s. Hell, Ric Flair said he used it in the late 70s. So that stuff was rampant at that time. All I know is my interpretation of Mr. McMahon is that he found a niche in the late 80s, and he noticed that, hey, these guys are using this stuff and they look like freaking superheroes. I'm just going to sit back and let them keep doing it. Was it wrong? Yeah, sure. For the health of your people. But for business, would there be a WWF, WWE without it? No.
But getting back to the LeBron thing, he made one statement in one video that's a very broad and statement. You can't, I mean, he could be questioned, but with the kind of things, unless there's actual physical proof, Joe, it just, there's nothing. I don't think LeBron does not seem like an individual that's worried. So we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, unless we hear otherwise. Now, if the rumors from credible news sources starts to come about, or there's reports that start to come out, because again, like in the McMahon case right now that he is going through, the feds, that leaked out as far as what the feds are thinking about doing and possible their investigation. That all came as far as leaked reports. There were several sources. I believe the New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post. Obviously the wrestling, newsletters and dirt sheets, as they're called. They all reported on the fact that those news reports were getting out about possible federal indictments or investigations could be underway in the Vince McMahon latest scenario. The same thing with the Diddy thing. Before the feds laid the groundwork for their their charges, don't you think they've already done their due diligence in some form or fashion, and in regards to anybody that was indirectly involved in this situation, Joe? So I'm sure we probably would be hearing something already in regards to LeBron James's supposed involvement in these parties. He did probably attend these parties. That's why he commented on them. But again, he doesn't seem like a guy that's very worried right now, Joe.
It's more evidence, folks, that we should never look up to anybody who we don't know.
Yeah.
I knew this after the 2004 situation with Kobe. I was on the Kobe train before then. I said, this guy, because you heard it from Rick Fox, you heard it from B. Shaw, you heard it from his ex-players. They're like, dude, we're trying to build camaraderie, but Kobe wouldn't go to the club with us. He'd just go upstairs and do whatever.
Marquand, they won't have a choice. Well, hold on. If TMZ or the New York Post or the New York Times or Washington Post, they get a hold of this, Marquand, the NBA just doesn't, they can't close this out. Somebody leaks it to the press, they're not going to be able to do anything about it other than trying to do damage control. You've seen it before with other NBA related scandals, Marquand. So please, let's just stop this conversation unless something actually materializes. I just hate talking about hypotheticals, Joe. I mean, it's just like one of those other shows that we always have to talk about hypotheticals, or they talk about this or these trade proposals or whatever, all these hypotheticals from these other shows and talking about this. And this is just salacious stuff that, again, is not real until we're given inference that it's real, Joe.
The worst parts about but I'll end it with this. The worst parts about the McMahon situation. I know McMahon treated everybody like garbage. Women, men,
These are
right, left.
specific and serious allegations that are outlined in the lawsuit and then now in the federal case. So, yeah, there's specifics there, Mark, and in the McMahon case.
You want to know really, sports baby?
He's going to tell you it starts with
I'll tell you what it is. McCaskies. Yes.
Okay.
Your ownerships have been, since Papa Bear has gone to heaven, that team has been run by a bunch of yackles.
Well, before we head on out, speaking of the NFL, I did promise Xbox that you would give, because you made some money for Xbox, although it's for entertainment purposes only, that you would give him picks for NFL Week 4. So,
what do you need there, Mark, for this week? Let me know.
He's again, it's for entertainment purposes only, and it's up to you. You're on your own if you decide to take Joe's advice on any, or Chris's advice, or my advice on any NFL games this weekend. Because Chris and I did talk about NFL Week 4 earlier today on Inside Sports Fantasy Football.
I don't know, JY. I'm partial to Razor Ramon's entrance. When that pops, I
no chance in hell. Yeah. Again, if you get a chance, it's on Netflix. The Mr. McMahon series that dropped today. Docuseries, about 6 episodes. Is 6 episodes, about 6 hours of viewing. So hopefully you'll get a chance. So,
where's Mark?
Huh?
Mark,
Xbox.
What team did you need?
He says he's just asking for. I don't think.
Are you asking for one? Are you asking for a upset?
He's thinking either Seattle or he's thinking Seattle over Lions.
I would put all my money in the Bengals Sunday.
Again, sports and entertainment purposes, don't hold this responsible.
I firmly believe the Bengals are going to come out like
or Giants
like
over
Tigers.
Cowboys. See, he likes odds though. He's liking it because the odds, because it's laying 3.
Well, I think they're favored by what? 2.5?
It was 6 Giants, Cowboys over the Giants.
No. I'm talking about the Bengals over the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Is it 2.5? Was it 2.5? Oh, it might have been looking at a different game. Let me look. Hold on. So, 4. I'm sorry. 4. The Bengals are favored by 4. I would pick the Bengals to cover 4.
Again, you're on your own if you take any advice from us on that. It's for entertainment purposes only. So we'll leave it at that. But Xbox, you got your picks from Joe. Again, if you have any questions for us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com, or leave it in the comments below. We do get to it as soon as we can. You can become a member today for just $2.99 a month. You get emojis, badges, special shout outs from all of us here at the Lakers Fast Break at the beginning of the show. Try to go ahead and address that, or at least sometime during the show. And I give you little special treats like my written review of the Mr. McMahon series. How did I like it? What score did I give it? Did I not like it? Did I hate it? Did I like it? I tell you ahead of the entire world, and it's already there for all members right there. I just already posted it earlier before we started here tonight, and before I share it on the Cosmos or on this show, I shared it to all members for just $2.99 a month. And again, please like and subscribe. We're almost at 1,800 subscribers, so looking forward to see if we can get that, and then some this season. Looking forward to getting to the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 range, 5,000, 10,000 subscriber range. Looking forward to it. But Joe, any last final thoughts as we circle back to the press conference, the blah, blah, blah from Rob and JJ once again before we
hang with us, folks. There's going to be a lot of bullshit between now and the beginning of the year. But I will tell you this, and I'm not going to go off during the preseason, no matter how bad it gets, if it does. I am going to pay attention to the regular season games, and we're going to be able to discuss the details thoroughly. And we're going to go off the first 30 games, like Mr. Pelinka said, even though they don't have any moments to wait. But apparently Rob Pelinka thinks having another slow start is healthy for a team like this, to go balls out again after the All-Star break only to come up lame and the play-in again. Just utter idiocy at its highest form. I loathe the executive. I loathe the ownership right now in LA. And it's been built up. It's not one or two things. It's everything. They disgust me as in those positions.
Yes, just want to let you know again, it's up for members right now. My thoughts on the Mr. McMahon series. I'm not going to be able to post it to another day or two or so.
I'm always in a good mood, folks. Just even when I'm angry.
Yes.
I don't have moods. Moods are for menstrual women.
Okay.
You know, because the hormones.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have that problem.
And on that note, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. If you want to go ahead and have any questions, please
It's
send your
science,
comments
Gerald.
below.
It's
Yes.
true.
Yes, I get that. I get that.
Okay.
But please go ahead.
You can't get uncomfortable talking about things.
I'm not uncomfortable at all. Just like all the things we bring up at the end of the show, just like this filler at the end of the show.
I want you to understand that things,
anything and everything
in life,
there's no limits,
are the way they are, and it's the truth. Stop getting uncomfortable.
I'm just like, okay. I'm glad we entertained you once again. I'm sorry if I claim LeBron is guilty before his day in court, says Marca.
Sounds like the usual response online person does.
The maid outfit and all that stuff.
The maid outfit is fake.
Mm-hmm. But Mark can't tell that, so yeah, he can't tell the difference. That's all right.
Okay,
if he doesn't like LeBron, why don't you just say you don't like LeBron? You already want him to retire in your comments that I read earlier. That's fine. A lot of people want him to retire. A lot of people think the organization might be better off if he retires right now. I get it. I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with you or disagree with you on that, but yeah.
Brett Favre has always been a weasel.
And wouldn't you know, he would drop that one on Congress when he was there testifying. Absolutely.
Brett Favre has always been a little weasel.
I'm trying to get the sympathy vote from Congress. That was
apparently Parkinson's made him try to do what he did. Right?
Yeah.
I listened to the recording. By the way, this isn't me. It was not good.
I watched the whole investigation. I've seen that. Yeah, that's
but listening to the audio, much like the Antonio Brown audio when he was cussing that lady out, like that was it for me. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, this guy's freaking trash.
Yeah,
both of them.
But it is what it is. But once again, please join us for more Great Lakers shows as we get closer to training camp next week. Rob and JJ are ready. Are you ready for the Lakers training camp? Please let us know. LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Well, again, go ahead and check out Inside
Curry?
Sports Fantasy Football. Huh?
Who the hell is Chef Curry?
He's talking about Steph.
Why is he a chef?
Cooking up stuff. It's a metaphor. So, because he likes to cook stuff. He has cooking videos.
Markin, are you Cool Bro's evil twin? Just random shit pulled out your rear?
Evidently. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. We will be back hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. See if we've got some good stuff to talk to you about. And if we do,
I know Chef Dylan. I know Chef Mario.
Well, Joe doesn't like to remove anybody unless he really gets offensive.
No racial epithets.
Yes. Which I agree. Wholeheartedly. 100%.
Only coward pieces of shit talk like that. Say that to my friends to their face while I'm there. Do it that way. have the balls to do it in the face.
And on that note,
anyone could do it online.
Okay. Yeah, he might be cool bro right now, but again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is Joe Soro. It's so funny because Cool Bro said in fantasy football show, Joe, he is 0-3. Gee, when your entire team is the Rams? Go figure. Huh. How could that have happened?
Sounds like his meals during the day. 0-3.
0-3 indeed. Oh. Do I win anything if LeBron retires in the first 10 games?
You know what's going to happen, Markin?
Talk
Much
to Laker
like Cool
Nation.
Bro,
Maybe they'll.
we're going to start ignoring you. Yeah. We're giving you a shot here, man. Bring some real stuff together.
Laker Nation might give you a LeBron jersey, but we won't. Might give you a middle finger. Joe might, but other than that, I might. So, but he's not retiring in 10 years. He's got 51 million reasons why he's not going to retire after game 10. You wouldn't walk away from $51 million. He's not going to either.
I don't listen to Drake's songs, so I don't know what the hell this Chef Curry garbage is.
And on that note, it's the Lakers fast break. Thanks so much again.
Been, by the way?
What?
Did he go into hiding?
Who did he?
Drake.
Oh, Drake. Maybe anticipating the Raptors season? I don't know. If you think LeBron isn't doing a farewell tour yet, well, yeah, exactly, Alan. We'll see where the ego lies on that one. So. A kiss the ring tour. Oh, man, we got to get out of here. This is getting off the rails. But it is the Lakers fast break. Thanks so much again for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow if more is needed to talk about right here on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.